Guys, this is Mike from Crypto Beta Cafe, and in this video, I'm going to talk about Sam Bankman-Fried's charges being dropped. And a lot of people were confused about this because I guess his lawyers are acting as if everything he's doing is not like considered allegedly typical wire fraud because of crypto. When there are serious claims as to how much of this was committed off chain, so it would be typical fraud. And I think his lawyers are like basically using that gray area to like misalign charges. So I think a few months ago, everyone was confused because his lawyers had originally got the donation charges split off into a separate case, which I thought was appropriate. And then they magically dropped it, but that didn't make any sense to me. And then, he kept talking to the press and doing these things. So they reevaluated. And I was like, at the end of the day, if the funds came from a customer, you're using misappropriate funds to give to political donations. And a lot of the congressmen or women didn't even notice that it was sent to their campaign. So, one could believe that, was this done for blackmail? Was this done for bribery? Was this done because he knew eventually he would be arrested, and then he could be like, well, you can't arrest me. I think you should go a little lenient on my charges because I sent you X, Y, and Z, regardless or not of whether they agreed to it or were aware. It makes them look bad or makes them look like they're colluding with Sam. So in that context alone, that is a crime. That's a bribe. You can't do that with customer funds. So when they were trying to drop it, I'm like, nope, it's definitely a crime if it came directly from customer funds. No one is great. If a bank did that, that would be wrong, correct? So I'm just gonna read this article from Al Jazeera. Yeah, so he used stolen customer funds to make 100 million in political campaign contributions ahead of the 22 midterm election. Yeah, he had previously pled not guilty. And there's another side to this when I said that Sam Bankman-Fried was like, he was literally trying to push regulation. So we don't know if these donations go inside with him trying to push regulation. Like it is either to prevent him from going to jail for a long time or to produce any of the regulation he proposed. And that's also inherently problematic because you can't bribe people and then push legislation that only benefits your individual company and protects you guys from, you know, fraudulent charges in the future. It's just, yeah, that's definitely a crime. Um, he leveraged his influence in turn to lobby Congress and regulatory agencies to support legislation and regulation he believed would make it easier for FTX to continue to accept customer deposits and grow. And that's like the biggest supervillain vibes right there, because you push legislation, you leave FTX scot-free where they get to live in this gray man zone where they do whatever they want. More customers deposit, you use customer said deposits to do whatever you're doing now, which is again not legal. So yes, they dropped it in July after. Well, and that was weird too. They said that they dropped it in July after the Bahamas said they never intended to extradite Bankman-Fried to the US on the charge. It doesn't matter. It's still a crime that was committed. So like, I don't. His legal team is crazy. Look, um, they're trying everything in the book to confuse people to get some of his charges dismissed. And I said, no, baby, you have three of the co-founders already pled guilty. I'm sorry he has to take the L. Like, I don't know. He doesn't really have a solid defense, and everything he's done has made it worse. He's gonna have to take a plea at this point. The evidence is unmountably against him at this point. And if he was smart, which I don't know if he is at this point, he would simply take a plea deal instead of fighting the inevitable. Um, Yeah, and I also think it's like a privilege or like a political thing. Like I don't think he knows what to do in a situation where like there's evidence to get him. I think he knows how to evade certain things and work around the law, but I don't think he knows what to do when the evidence is pointing directly at him in this. And I'm pretty sure they don't know what to do, and this is why this is happening. But at the a trail of evidence that can point to you being the ringleader and facilitator of everything that's happened, you know, you're kind of screwed and you need to take a plea deal and have a great day and leave us all alone. Like, I just think all of this is insane. The witness, you know, communications, if it were anyone else, they would have been back in jail immediately. The amount of leniency in this case, due to the massive amount of customer loss, has been very disturbing to me. If it had been anyone else, he would have remained in jail from the remaining of the charges have dropped. And I just think there's too much leniency with these cases, and it's really disgusting and deplorable because, you know, some people may have their money locked up. Again, no one told anyone to put all of their money on an exchange, but it's not right that they didn't know that Sam Bankman-Fried was allegedly committing fraud and misusing customer funds. Had they known that, they probably wouldn't have put that much money in the exchange. But it's just very odd to me with all the leniency in this man's case. And we're discussing this like so like laissez-faire while he's speaking to the press, releasing documents that have been submitted for the case ahead of the trial. Just what looks to be witness tampering, if witness tampering. So yeah, I just hope they remain consistent. And I heard he has a laptop in jail. It's just, I'm very interested to see what will come out of this case and how long they'll allow the charade of him doing whatever he wants to continue. Okay, but yeah, thank you for watching this video and have a wonderful day or night. Bye, guys.